Hello viewers, I am your host Uzma Jafri with another episode of South Asia Focus. Let's begin the show with Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi's visit to Singapore to attend the ASEAN India Breakfast Summit, 13th East Asia Summit and Regional Comprehensive Economic Partnership Summit to provide an impetus to a well-established India-ASEAN relationship. A report.
With an aim to further enhance the diverse relationship, the leaders of member countries of the Mega Trade Agreement Regional Comprehensive Economic Partnership met in Singapore, a global financial center in Asia. The leaders held talks to improve maritime cooperation and centrality of trade for the prosperity of the strategic Indo-Pacific region. The proposed agreement between 10 members Association of Southeast Asian Nations ASEAN along with 6 Asia-Pacific countries China, Japan, South Korea, India, Australia and New Zealand is trying to achieve the world's largest economic bloc covering nearly half of the global economy. Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi urged the member nations to conclude their discussion at the earliest. Modi said that the finalized elements should be modern, comprehensive, balanced and mutually beneficial. Later, expressing his satisfaction, Modi tweeted, "Cementing old bonds in pursuit of a glorious future. Had a great interaction with ASEAN leaders at the ASEAN India Informal Breakfast Summit. We are happy that ties with ASEAN are strong and are contributing to a peaceful and prosperous planet." India-ASEAN ties have acquired renewed momentum since the enunciation of the Act East policy by Prime Minister Narendra Modi in November 2014 at the 12th ASEAN India Summit and the 9th EAS in Myanmar. In January 2018, India hosted ASEAN India Commemorative Summit to celebrate 25 years of dialogue partnership, 15 years of summit-level interaction and 5 years of strategic partnership. In an unprecedented gesture, all 10 ASEAN leaders had attended the commemorative summit and graced the Republic Day celebrations as chief guests. During the summit, leaders reviewed the whole range of ASEAN-India cooperation and adopted the Delhi Declaration. Earlier, Modi held bilateral talks with Vice President of the United States, Michael Pence. The two leaders discussed to boost oil and defense equipment's import to India. India is expected to import about $4 billion of oil from the United States this year.
We have important issues to discuss. Mr. Prime Minister, the President and I are truly grateful for your strong support of a free and open Indo-Pacific. The recent naval exercises between India, Japan, and the United States also give evidence of our mutual commitment to ensuring free and open access to the seas all across this region. And we're grateful for your leadership and the collaboration that is represented in those defense efforts.
There was a lot of discussion on energy. This is a new sector in Indo-US relations. We have begun importing oil and gas from the United States. It is expected to be valued at about $4 billion this year. And we expressed our readiness to import more gas and more oil from the United States as a way of expanding trade. Another area which we felt also would be important on the economic front would be the defense sector. There, of course, both sides agreed that there has been a substantial enhancement in our defense relationship, in our imports of equipment from the United States. But Prime Minister in particular stressed that there was a great opportunity for the United States in India.
On the margins of the summit, Modi also met with the Prime Minister of Australia, Scott Morrison. The leaders expressed satisfaction in the various joint exercises conducted by India and Australia and vowed for enhanced defense cooperation. The discussion essentially focused on defense security cooperation, where both expressed satisfaction that there were a large number of areas in which both countries were working together, including various joint exercises.
India is a growing military power and it is one of the biggest buyers of the defense equipments across the globe. It has signed multiple defense deals with the United States, Russia, Israel and other countries. However, the deal of the fighter jets Rafale stands out to be the most prominent in the recent times. Not because of the extra wings it provides to the military prowess of the country, but also because of the controversies it was marred with of late. However, in an exclusive interview to Smitha Prakash, the editor-in-chief of Asian News International, the CEO of Dassault Aviation, Eric Trappier, has cleared the air around the controversy. We have a few excerpts for you.
You withdrew from a Canadian bid because of issues which I believe, according to the media, is that there were problems of intelligence data sharing and interoperability, particularly with the US forces. You are a company which sells to several countries. Tell me, if you've sold these now to India, if you were to sell it to Pakistan or China, who are India's traditional rivals, how important is it that you keep the secrecy and that they don't get to know about the weaponization of the aircraft?
It's very easy to answer because it's a government-to-government deal, number one. Number two is, even if it is a commercial deal, and when it is a commercial deal, we need the clearance of the French government. Between India and France, there is a strategic partnership. So within this strategic partnership, I don't want to comment, but there are a number of clauses which may allow to build up confidence in these very sensitive and strategic matters which are defense or intelligence. So I think that this is a G2G agreement which cover these matters. As far as I am concerned, if you give a look on our track record, as I said, we started in 1953 with India. The fighters we sold to India are not in the countries you told me. So it's a fact. Like everything I may say are facts.
Well, what is the delivery time, sir? When are these aircraft going to come to India, and when are the squadrons going to be ready? What about the training, and what about the spares that come in? Because that also is an issue when it comes to, is India locked in with Dassault all the time for the spares now, because we're not going to be making them? So
no, not in this deal, but we are starting. Number one, to your question, is the first delivery to Indian Air Force is going to take place next year in September. So in 1 year, as per contract, it's totally in time. Number two is
2019.
2019.
The first lot will be delivered.
Yes, the first aircraft.
Okay.
Then, obviously, before we would have started the training of the pilots, the trainings of the mechanicians, which are going to take place here in France. And then we are going to train these pilots who will become the trainers for their own pilots in India. So the training facilities will be at the end with simulators in India by Indian Air Force pilots. Same with technicians and mechanicians. They will be trained first here in France, and then these first technicians and mechanicians will become the trainers of their own teams in India. So this will give the capability of Indian Air Force to train and their own teams for the future. As far as the spares are concerned, yes, the spares still are manufactured in France, like the aircraft, but it will depend on what's going on in the future also. If it is only for 36, it's difficult to manufacture spares because the quantity is not enough. If it is to manufacture more in the future, we will obviously be able to settle facilities in India. So that will be, we will see what is going to be the future.
So the first squadron is going to come in April 2019 is what I'm told. When do the rest of them come?
For the training, yes.
Yeah, So when do the rest of them, when are the complete 36 going to be
There is
delivered?
a big program
Okay,
which starts beginning
so
of next year, but
the squadrons will be ready by which year?
I don't know. That's the Indian Air Force
Has to decide.
responsibility
And
to create the squadron of Rafale in the base in India. There are 2 bases which are under fitting into a future Rafale base. So it's a responsibility of Indian Air Force to answer to that question. I may also only answer to what belongs to me, which is the training of the pilots and the mechanicians.
So how is your aircraft better than your competitors? If you were to compare it to the Eurofighter, how is it better compared to your competitors?
I would say that when you have
Why did you win the L1?
when you have a competition worldwide, Typhoon has never won against the Rafale, never. And it is known that the Rafale is a better aircraft. But what I may say is not good for you, because obviously it's my bird, obviously it's my baby, so I will say it's the best. You need to ask the French pilots, you need to ask the Indian pilots, because there was a very huge evaluation in flight in India, in different places in India, at the top of the mountains, in the desert, everywhere, by Indian teams. They made their evaluation. This evaluation led the Rafale to be the winner in 2012. So I think that those who may say whether it is a superb aircraft and a very operational aircraft are the pilots.
Thank you very much for speaking with us.
Thank you.
Moving on. Sri Lanka has been in a political turmoil since President Sirisena removed Ranil Wickremesinghe from the position of Prime Minister and replaced him with Mahinda Rajapaksa. Even a no-confidence motion has failed to break the gridlock, and in fact the crisis has further deepened. International community, including the largest democracy and Sri Lanka neighbour India, have urged for the restoration of democratic values in the country. However, they have failed to create any political impact in the country. A report.
Unprecedented scenes unfolded on the floor of the Sri Lankan parliament as the members got into an all-out brawl involving fistfights, hurling objects at each other and even attacking Speaker Jayasuriya following Mahinda Rajapaksa's defeat in the no-confidence motion. The parliament passed the no-confidence motion against Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa and his government with the backing of 122 of the 225 lawmakers in a voice vote, followed by a signed document. However, President Maithripala Sirisena, in a letter to Speaker Karu Jayasuriya, said he could not accept the no-confidence vote as it appeared to have ignored the constitution, parliamentary procedure and tradition. Although the turmoil has only gone worse since it cropped up last month after President Sirisena hastily appointed Mahinda Rajapaksa, both the leaders are the favour of having polls in coming time but not ready to give in each other's pressure as of now.
මේ ආරවුල පාර්ලිමේන්තුවේ ඉන්න 225 දෙනා අතරේ විසඳගන්නේ නැතුව මේ රටේ ලක්ෂ 150ක් ඉක්මවන ඡන්දදායක ජනතාවට බාර දෙමු.
අපි කියන්නේ නීත්‍යානුකූලව ඡන්දේ පවත්වන්න දැන් බහුතරයක් තියෙන අපිට අපි ආණ්ඩුව අරගන්න ඊට පස්සේ පක්ෂ සියල්ලම එකතු කළා ඒ පක්ෂ කියන විදියට අපිත් ලෑස්ති ඡන්දයක් තියන්න.
The session on the following morning too was abandoned after the supporters of Mahinda Rajapaksa rushed at the Parliament Speaker Karu Jayasuriya. Although the experts are cautioning the country with a plethora of pitfalls, some seems to have already hit the political and diplomatic discourse of the country. As many as 8 Western countries stayed away from a meeting with Sri Lanka's government to register their protest against President Maithripala Sirisena's decision to dissolve Parliament. The instability in the island nation of 21 million people has raised concerns for its economy, already expanding at its slowest pace in more than a decade. The Sri Lankan currency too reached an all-time low amidst this turmoil.
The crisis has significant ramifications in a battle for influence in South Asia between Sri Lanka's traditional ally India and China, a country that is playing an increasingly assertive role in the region of late. Moving on, the Balochs have been reeling under Pakistani subjugation for decades. They are being meted out with worst forms of atrocities. Reasonable voices are being suppressed with severe high-handedness. Arbitrary arrests, abductions and killings seem to have become a new normal in the region. However, the resolute activists are relentless in fighting against the establishment. Recently, they observed the Baloch Martyrs Day world over, criticizing the Pakistani government for countless number of people it has killed in years. A report.
In a bid to express their solidarity against the mounting Pakistan atrocities and observe the Baloch Martyrs Day, several Baloch activists held rallies and seminars world over. In London, the Baloch National Movement organised a seminar to pay tributes to activists who were killed by Pakistan's army and secret agency Inter-Services Intelligence or ISI. In Busan city of South Korea, a protest rally was organised by Baloch National Movement and Baloch Student Organisation Azad on the eve of Baloch Martyrs Day. The protesters chanted slogans against Pakistan Army's brutalities in Balochistan. The Baloch nationalists have been commemorating 13 November as National Remembrance Day, Baloch Martyrs Day from past many years.
Balochistan has never accepted anybody's forceful occupation. Balochistan has always resisted against each and every kind of invasion. For example, the Portuguese, the British, India, Afghanistan, Iran, Arab, whoever has tried to forcefully occupy Balochistan, we have resisted. Whoever has raised their hands and tried to make a friendship and gave Baloch equal rights and honor, Baloch always have done a nice kind of friendship, a nice kind of sisterhood with all those nations who have given Baloch people respect and honor. So honor is the basic demand of Baloch people. Today, Balochistan is in resistance against occupation of Iran and Pakistan, and Baloch people are demanding reunite Balochistan, a democratic, a peaceful, and a nuclear-free Balochistan, a gender-balanced Balochistan. And for this Balochistan, we all, each and every Baloch, will struggle.
Currently, Baloch are struggling against Iran and Pakistan's illegal occupation of Balochistan, which occupied the Baloch sovereign country in 1928 and 1948 respectively.
The situation has become grim in the region of late. My colleague Ravi Khandelwal recently spoke to Karima Baloch, the former chairman of Baloch Student Organisation Azad, to know more about the prevailing situation.
करीमा जी, अगर हम बात करें बलूचिस्तान के हालात की, तो वहाँ सिचुएशन अभी क्या है? क्योंकि आप लोग वहाँ टच में रहते हैं लोगों से, तो वहाँ पे लोग क्या आपको रिस्पांस मिल रहा है लोगों को?
वहाँ पे रोज़ाना इनफोर्स डिसअपीयरेंस के वाक़या हो रहे हैं, रोज़ाना लाशें गिर रही हैं अभी तक। इवन अब औरतों के जो अगवा है वो बढ़ने लगी है और वहाँ पे बम्बारमेंट होती है मोस्टली उन इलाकों में जो सीपेक के रूट से गुज़रते हैं। और आर्मी जो है वो स्कूलों और कॉलेजों पर मुकम्मल हावी है, लाइब्रेरियाँ नहीं रहने देते, बलूची ज़ुबान में जो लिखते हैं वो उन राइटर्स के ख़िलाफ़ FIR हैं, जो बलूचिस्तान से बाहर हैं, जो बलूचिस्तान में रह रहे हैं, उनको उठा के मार के फेंक दिया गया या अभी भी लापता हैं। लाइब्रेरियों पे छापे पड़ते हैं, हॉस्टल्स में छापे पड़ते हैं, यूनिवर्सिटी और स्कूलों और कॉलेजों में छापे पड़ते हैं। पाकिस्तान की जो फाशिस्ट आर्मी की बनाई हुई वो मजहबी जो ग्रुप्स हैं, जो आर्मी उनको असलहा देती है, आर्मी उनको ट्रेन करती है, आर्मी उनको बलूचिस्तान में दाखिल करती है, उनके हाथों हमारे लड़कियों पर तेज़ाब फेंके जा रहे हैं ताकि वो गर्ल्स एजुकेशन के ख़िलाफ़ हैं। और जो लोग को एजुकेशन पे काम कर रहे थे बलूचिस्तान में जाहिद की शक्ल में, तो उनको मार के ISIS ने कबूल कर दिया। ISIS सेम पाकिस्तान आर्मी। सो प्रोफेसर सबाद अश्तियारी जैसे लोगों को मार रहे हैं। बलूचिस्तान की सिचुएशन ऐसी है कि वहाँ पे जो वार क्राइम्स हैं वो अब हद से बढ़ चुके हैं।
जो एनफोर्स डिसअपीयरेंसेस का मसला है वो काफ़ी गंभीर है बलूचिस्तान के अंदर। तो उसके लिए आपने काफ़ी जदोजहद की, वहाँ पर काफ़ी आवाज़ें उठाई, लेकिन क्या आपको लगता है कि कुछ उस डायरेक्शन में कुछ हो रहा है, गवर्नमेंट कुछ कर रही है उनको रिलीज़ करने का?
देखिए, बलूचिस्तान में जितने भी हमारी स्ट्रगल थी हमारे लोगों मिसिंग पर्सनस के लिए, या इलाकों में जो विलेजेस में जो आर्मी की ऑपरेशंस थी, किलिंग एंड डंप पॉलिसी पाकिस्तान की बलूचों के ख़िलाफ़, उस पर हमने काफ़ी सारी स्ट्रगल की थी वहाँ पे, लेकिन हमने पाकिस्तान से कोई या पाकिस्तानी गवर्नमेंट से कोई उम्मीद लगा के नहीं की थी, बल्कि हमने जो यूनाइटेड नेशन है या इंटरनेशनल ग्रुप्स हैं दूसरे जो ह्यूमन राइट्स पे काम करते हैं, हमने उनसे अपील की थी कि आप एक्शन लो और पाकिस्तान आर्मी को, इंटेलिजेंस इदारों को प्रेशर दो, ताकि वो जो इलीगल ऑपरेशंस हैं, जो इलीगल एब्डक्शंस हैं बलूच नौजवानों की, आम लोगों की, तो उनको बंद कर दें, या जो लोग रियासती फोर्सेस ने उठा के गायब किए हैं उनको वापस अदालतों में लेके आएँ, उनको जेलों में रखें, उन पर केस चलाएँ, एटलीस्ट उनको वकील रखने का तो हक दें।
Moving on, India, a country that celebrates a number of festivals throughout the year. While some are observed with equal pomp and show across the country, others are limited to a particular region only. One such festival is Nag Nathaiya, a 500-year-old tradition that is popularly observed in India's northern Varanasi city of Uttar Pradesh.
Thousands of Hindu devotees gathered on the river banks of Tulsi Ghat in Varanasi to witness the centuries-old traditional festival of Nag Nathaiya. It is a part of Krishna Leela performance and is celebrated with much eagerness and happiness in the city. It mainly celebrates the victory of Lord Krishna over the serpent Kaliya, who according to Hindu mythology used to dwell in the river Yamuna near Lord Krishna's village, poisoning the river water and terrorizing the villagers. Nag Nathaiya is basically an enactment of the above episode, wherein a young boy dressed as Lord Krishna proceeds towards the river Ganges while playing with his friends. Suddenly, the ball falls into the river and the little Krishna is asked to bring it back. He then climbs on the branch of Kadam tree which is planted at the edge of river. From there he jumps into the river to beat Kaliya the serpent. A large crowd of people collects at the ghat to watch this beautiful enactment and eagerly wait for the small Krishna to come out.
नटवर नागर की लीला देखने के लिए जो लाखों की संख्या में लोग एकत्र हो रहे हैं और निश्चित रूप से भगवान का दर्शन करके लोग अभिभूत हो रहे हैं और आज तो तुलसी घाट पे सच्चे अर्थों में द्वापर युग लौट आया है.
As soon as the little Krishna comes out of water with the help of other people who are already inside the river, he is made to stand on the head of Kaliya, where he poses just like Lord Krishna with a flute in his hand. As the scene takes place, the whole ghat reverberates with the powerful drum beats. The tradition is believed to be started by the legendary Indian poet Tulsidas over 400 years ago and is observed until today at a magnificent scale to keep the tradition alive.
इसमें कास्टी के लोगों का और इनफैक्ट कहिए विश्व के लोगों का बहुत आस्था जुड़ा है. देखिए इतने लोग यहाँ असेंबल हुए हैं. 10 मिनट का ये पूरा लीला है जो आपका क्रीम पीरियड जो भगवान कालीदह में छलांग लगाते हैं और उसके बाद गेंद लेके आते हैं और काली नाग को उद्वासित करते हैं. यही प्रसंग है.
In Hindu mythology, it is said that Lord Vishnu comes to the earth in different forms to punish evil and preserve goodness, and Lord Krishna was one of his incarnation. This act of Nag Nathaiya is one such incident from Krishna's life that proves that there is always the victory of good over evil.
For years, the importance of Nag Nathaiya festival has remained the same. However, it has now changed its meaning of a venomous serpent to water pollution elements to create mass awareness about pollution through religion. With that, we come to the end of this week's episode. See you next week. Take care and goodbye.